and welcome back to The Give and Go. I'm your coach, Reynoso, here with my boy,
Soltero. What's up, y'all?
I had certain plans for how to start off this episode, certain games I wanted to highlight, certain moments, certain goals. But Angel Correa came out of nowhere and just stole the headline for the day, giving Atletico Madrid a surprise victory here in Paris against PSG with a last-minute winner in the final play of the match. It's Angel Correa again giving Atletico a victory this season.
This is when football becomes comedy. Yeah. Because PSG are a goddamn joke. They are a joke, bro. Man. 71% possession throughout the entire match. 70%. 22 shots. 22, and they lose this game. And especially given that it was the last play of the game, great awareness from Oblak to see Griezmann just wide open on the left-hand side of the pitch. And I believe it was Nuno Mendes. I might be wrong there, but he decides not to press Griezmann. He's like, all right, this is the last play of the game. I'm just going to give him acres of space. Well, that's the last thing you need to do to Griezmann because he doesn't have physical presence anymore. If he just went up to him, Griezmann would have gotten bodied, bro.
That's true.
But he gave him all the time in the world. Griezmann sees Correa on the other side of the pitch. He just feeds it to him, and Correa's all of a sudden one-on-one shifts it to the left-hand side and scores. Yeah. It's a joke, bro. In Paris, it shouldn't have happened. Obviously, I'm very delighted, but
we'll take it.
But I'll take it. But the way the game was going in the entire second half, PSG should have had 3, 4, 5 goals.
No, they should have, and that's the frustrating thing about this PSG team that I've been seeing ever since basically Luis Enrique took the helm. They're great at generating offensive opportunities, getting into dangerous positions, getting past their last man, getting by a player. But their decision-making every time is so individualistic. Yeah. I can't imagine how much it pisses Luis Enrique off seeing his players make these insane, egotistic decisions when it comes to scoring goals or wanting to get a highlight out of these plays. Hakimi today had a perfect opportunity to lay the ball off as he's alone, one-on-one with the keeper, wide open on the left side is one of the strikers. He lays that ball off. They take the lead 2-1 with 10 minutes left in the game, decides to shoot it, and does a terrible, terrible job there. He then has a similar opportunity just a few minutes after where he tries to redeem himself, but then he sends the pass too long, and whoever was going to get there wasn't able to get there. And I just thought that encapsulated this PSG offense because so much of it ends up on relying on Vitinha's and Joao Neves' long-range opportunities. Dembele is always going crazy on the wings, not really able to generate something of danger against elite teams. And I think the product you get at the very end is what you saw today. A team that is capable of having that much possession, but then getting scored on in the final minute. And, Donnarumma had a smile on his face when he conceded because he could see how fucking goofy this shit was, man. Yeah. What a funny comedic team that we have here in PSG, losing to an Atletico Madrid side that they should have beaten, bro, going into this game.
Yeah, and I like that you basically call out all the individualism from PSG because that is ultimately what is plaguing this team. Even a guy like Bradley Barcola, man, who has a lot of talent, and we see it in flashes, but he too, when he gets on the ball, is just so individualistic. He's not looking to combine. There's not even a thought in his head that says, oh, maybe I should pass to a midfielder. He just gets it and goes. And it's fun to a certain extent, but if you're actually trying to win games, man, football's a team game. So, what are you doing? And it's just so frustrating. And then seeing Fabian Ruiz come off the bench and knowing the potential that he has, what we saw in the summer when he played with Spain, I'm like, this ain't his team, bro. It never has been, to be completely honest. He was brilliant at Napoli. He was amazing at Betis. Ever since he's come to PSG, he's just been a shadow of himself. And it's so frustrating knowing the potential looking at his performances with Spain this summer. And so this team's just a mess. There's too much talent. Enrique doesn't know how to fit them all together, and he can't ultimately manage this team.
And it's crazy because if you look at the goal that they scored, it came off of a complete blunder from Atletico's defense, just literally giving the ball away, holding onto it for way too long, and then Zaire Emery with a really nice, cheeky finish.
It was a good finish.
It was really composed. Credit to him. But they end up losing this game 2-1, which now, gives Atletico some sort of hope in regards to just qualifying into the next stage because they had just lost a string of games in the tournament that I thought was going to put them in a really tough spot. Getting 3 points away from home in Paris now has them in 23rd place, right on the cusp right now, halfway through the group stage, whereas PSG now drops to 25th.
Damn. False hope for Atleti, man. I didn't want this. I wanted a loss. I wanted another big loss, man. We need change at this club. Only way that's going to happen is if we just lose.
Yeah.
This is the last thing I wanted, to be completely honest.
PSG at 25. That's crazy, man. Let's move on to some other notable matches here. We had Inter Milan hosting Arsenal at the San Siro and winning 1-0 off of a Çalhanoğlu penalty goal. And honestly, just off of an incredible defensive performance for a full 90 minutes, non-stop action in the box, non-stop crosses, non-stop corner kicks from Arsenal specifically. But every single time, there was an Inter Milan defender to meet the ball and boot it out. Incredible defensive performance from them. From Arsenal, I think a little bit of a soulless performance offensively, knowing that they're missing a big piece, a piece that they finally got to sub into this match, and Odegaard.
Yeah, honestly, really promising to see Odegaard just stand up and run around a little bit. Like, that gave me hope for maybe the next month, bro. Yeah, Arsenal need it, dude. They desperately need some sort of invigorating energy in their offense because, yet again, this was just another lifeless display offensively for Arsenal. They're just out of ideas, bro. Mm-hmm. They're just out of ideas. Mm-hmm. And we've seen the last 4 weeks for Arsenal. This is their third defeat in their last 6 matches. They just can't figure it out without Odegaard. So, I mean, here's to him just starting the next game or maybe coming on in the 60th and eventually getting back into the starting lineup. This game was intriguing, though, because it started off with Inter looking incredible. Yeah. Dumfries rattling the post. But then after like 15, 20 minutes, honestly, Arsenal took over. They had all the possession. They were dictating the pace of the game. Inter Milan were reduced to just playing off the ball and absorbing all of the pressure. Now, the thing is, since it's Arsenal right now, they didn't have to absorb a lot. Yeah. So, like, yes, Inter Milan didn't have a lot of the ball at the end of the day. They weren't able to do much with it, but they didn't have to, especially since they had that 1-0 lead after halftime. Really unlucky for Merino, by the way. Mm-hmm. Nothing he could have done. Pure bad luck. But yeah, I mean, this game kind of just died out at the end of the day. Arsenal tried, but Inter Milan looked comfortable defensively. Game probably could have ended in a draw, honestly. Yeah. But Inter Milan get the win. Good for them. Just not a ton in this match.
Not a ton in this match. Inter Milan gets to 5th place now with this victory, 10 points. Not a single goal allowed in their whole Champions League campaign so far.
Oh, nice.
That's very, very impressive. There's one more team out there that hasn't conceded. Can you guess which team it is?
It's Atalanta?
There you go.
Okay.
Yeah, very surprising, man. Atalanta and Inter. Italian teams, that Italian defense. I mean, I feel like I saw that prime Italian 2000s defense on display today because that's what they were asked to do at the end of the day. They're like, you know what? If we just stay in the box and we just hit these balls out, like we're open to doing that. De Vrij was incredible today. And then I want to highlight Pavard and Bisek. I hadn't seen Bisek play yet. Huge defender, man. That boy can get up high. And he had an incredible performance. Dumfries and Darmian as well. The entire defensive line was just awesome. Jan Sommer as well getting a really good performance in this too. Inter get a deserving 3 points here. They move to 5th, whereas Arsenal now drops to 12th place with a little bit more of hope coming their way with the return of Odegaard. Yeah. We had another great performance from Barcelona in what was a goal fest in Red Star Belgrade Stadium. 7 goals in total and some really class finishes from both sides. Honestly, with Barcelona winning this game 5-2 to honestly just continue this string of momentum that they've had since the beginning of the season, man.
Yeah, what's the next game?
Next
R.I.P. Red Star.
Our next one in the league is Real Sociedad, then Celta Vigo after that. They should be good there. And then they get Brest in their next Champions League match. I think that should be fun.
I hope, man. I hope. I don't know. Putting all my eggs in a Brest basket doesn't sound, doesn't give me confidence, bro.
I mean, Barcelona, 2 goals from Lewandowski. And then I wanted to highlight my favorite goal of the day from what I saw all around the Champions League was Rafinha's goal. I love that goal. Beautiful ball in. A laser of a ball to the top of the box. And then Rafinha with his elegance and his class, composed, passes it into the back of the net, bottom right corner. Such a clean, nice finish. I recommend people go watch if you didn't catch this game. You didn't have to because Barcelona dominated basically from the get-go. Despite Red Star actually tying it at one point to make it 1-1, but then Leva getting on the board. Brace here to now get himself 99 goals in the UEFA Champions League all time. He's in third place, one goal away from reaching that beautiful number of 100, which only two other players have done, and Leo Messi and Cristiano Ronaldo. Barcelona is flying high now with this victory in sixth place. And I mean, really just that Monaco loss where they had a red card really being the only X on their resume. The rest of the performance we've seen have been incredible.
I got nothing.
Not much else to say, bro. They've been so good.
Barcelona, dude.
They've been so good. Let's move on then. Let's move on to Atalanta. Atalanta getting a result today away from home with, once again, Ademola Lookman continuing his incredible form, starting off the lead for Atalanta off of a really nice, dangerous pass in, puts it into the back of the net. Atalanta goes up 1-0, and they never go back as they get a second one in this match.
Yeah, Charles de Ketelaere getting on that right-hand side, shifting the ball over and finding a wide open Lookman. Really beautiful piece of football from Atalanta. But before that goal, it was actually a really tight game. End to end, Stuttgart had a couple of chances as well, and the crowd atmosphere looked absolutely ridiculous. Stuttgart just enjoying this Champions League appearance. I always love to see that when a team who usually doesn't make it here just takes it all in and tries to put in the best performance that they can. The league's kind of going pretty average for Stuttgart this season, but this was a really good performance for them against Atalanta. They were able to get a win last time out against Juventus, and honestly, they took Atalanta, I think, as far as they could have. Atalanta are a really good team, though, and I'm really happy to see them continue this performance. This was a very tough road match ultimately for Atalanta, so this is a really good result.
Damn, no, I mean, we already highlighted they haven't conceded this whole tournament. They get their second win of the campaign now. They're in ninth place, right on the cusp of getting automatic qualification. I want to see Atalanta thrive this year after what they were able to do in the Europa League. We highlighted them this past weekend with their victory over Napoli. Continue this form of consistency, man. Continue this momentum that they have right now. It's really, really good, but can they do it for a whole season and be a dangerous team at those knockout stages? So far, so good, though, man. So far, so good. For Stuttgart, outside of the qualification zone now, as they now are in 27th place, but that's kind of how it was always going to go for them as well.
Yeah, honestly, a great week for Italian football. Outside of Bologna, incredible wins for all Italian teams. And the reason why I'm excited about Atalanta is this is the best I've seen them this early in the season, and I don't think any of it's accidental. This is by design. We saw this form late into last season, and they've completely kept it going. They have pretty good depth as well, and again, they probably have one of the best forwards in all of Europe in Lookman. I just think it's all coming together for Atalanta. I think they'll be a really fun team this year.
Great week for Italians, and outside of Liverpool, terrible week for Premier League teams. City going down, Arsenal going down, and now Aston Villa losing away from home at Club Brugge. What an atmosphere. The Belgians welcomed this Aston Villa team, and I love that every time Yuri Tielemans got on the ball, they booed his ass, bro. They booed his ass as he, I think at one point, started his career with Anderlecht, and so he's been a rival of them for a while, and it was fun to see that banter between them. But then afterwards, the scenes once Club Brugge got the result and was a deserving team in this game, the scenes of them celebrating with their fans, the players, that connection was ridiculous, man. What a dope atmosphere. Just want to shout that out because I'd love to go and catch a Club Brugge game one time in their stadium. They showed out today, man. They really did against an Aston Villa side that continues the string of disappointment that we saw this past weekend.
Oh, yeah. I mean, honestly, when I saw the matchup, considering Bruges played very well against Milan last time out, just got unlucky. I was very nervous for Aston Villa considering their form. And ultimately what we got was some really good moments from Bruges. But what the difference was in this match was a Mings blunder, man. And how much is he getting paid for that? What is going on here, bro? Like, what happened?
Sharpen up, man.
I don't get it, man. And just the confidence that he had to pick up the ball, like to just like see a player coming in, like, oh no, never mind, we're gonna reset the play.
Hey,
Yeah, like, no, we're going to reset it. I get to choose. Like, are you kidding me? Great on the referee to decide, no, the ball was in play. It's a penalty. Because it was, man. It really was. But for Mings, man, and for Unai Emery, just to be like, that's how we keep losing, like something like that. Other players come on in the second half, but Villa, much like Arsenal, have lost their offensive magic over the last 3 weeks. They've just lost it.
Thing is, I will say, I think in a football sense, that penalty was deserved because that first half from Club Brugge was just non-stop attack. I think I saw a stat that it was the most pressure that Villa has taken from any team so far this entire season for them. That they should have had a goal by the end of the half. It was ridiculous the pressure they're putting on, but some good saves from Emi and then just some bad finishing. They get the goal. They see the result out. And I'm seeing now that Villa is on a string of 4 games where they lost in the Carabao Cup to Crystal Palace and knocked out, lost to Tottenham 4-1. They had tied Bournemouth a couple of weeks ago, so dropping points there. And now they lose in the Champions League. How much of this is on Unai Emery? Is this an Unai Emery problem, or is this a combination of Emery and the players and just the whole thing all together, man?
My only concern when it comes to Emery and Villa's form right now is they're just not going all out offensively. And I wonder if Emery has seen their past performances, seeing that, okay, we're scoring 3-4 goals, but we're also conceding 2 or 3 goals. I wonder if he's told the team to be more conservative, which I think is the opposite thing that you should do, considering that the only thing that makes Villa very dangerous is their offense, right? Villa's never going to be a team that defends and then hits out on the counter. If that's how you're going to play, then you're just going to be a mid-table team in the Premier League. Like, I get that it's way more risky to play the way they started the season, but that's how they have to play. You have to go into your full identity of the players that you have, and that's all-out attack, man. Play at 5 forwards, basically 1 holding midfielder, and then 4 defenders. That's how they should approach every game. But I don't know, man. I don't know. It also could be a combination of the players are just maybe getting a little bit out of form.
We saw Jamaican Leon Bailey today, man.
Yeah.
We saw him off. But it also, I think, plays into what you're saying. Like, Rodgers isn't getting on the ball enough. I like him when he's on the ball,
he's just going.
feeding and going.
Just going.
Watkins isn't getting nearly as much touches as well. He seems nervous every time he's on the ball because he's just not touching a lot. He doesn't have that confidence once he gets in a promising position. And then offensively from the midfielders, we're not seeing the same type of performances, I guess, from Tielemans and McGinn as we saw last year. McGinn was insane last year. I think he isn't performing at high of a level offensively. So I do think it's a little bit of both.
And also, one thing that has really frustrated me over this last month specifically is the lack of playing time of John Duran. I don't really understand it. Is there a clause in his contract that says he can only play for Villa if he plays in the second half? I really don't believe it. I believe it. If I didn't know any better, that's exactly what I think is going on. Because again, Watkins, first off, had a really bad month to start the season. He found a little bit of form, but Duran's never started, even when Watkins has been out of form. So it makes no sense considering that it takes no effort for Emery to just make one rotation change for one game. What happens if Duran plays 60, 70 minutes? What happens? We'll find out. I don't get it. So I don't know. Emery's decisions have been questionable at best right now for Villa.
Yeah, choosing to be really conservative and defensive, but maybe that's a choice he got after the Ballon d'Or ceremony because he realized he has the best goalkeeper in the world.
He did make some good saves. But goddamn, man.
Goddamn. But the thing is, it's not the end of the world for Villa in the Champions League specifically.
True.
They've lost out on the title race in the Prem, in my opinion. They need to focus on getting top 4 now. And they lost out on the Cup tournament and Carabao Cup. But in the Champions League, they were one of the last remaining undefeated teams. And they finally get their first loss here. They got to reset. They got to figure themselves out by the next match week. They face off against Juventus next. So that should be a good test for them at home. They're now in 8th place with 3 wins and 1 loss, whereas Club Brugge trying to work their way back up. This was a big win for them. They're in 22nd place, 1 spot above Atletico Madrid. Let's keep it moving here as we've had some really interesting results from, you could say, Cinderella teams this week with a lot of upsets happening. Well, we have the same thing happening with Brest here, continuing their run of form, getting their 3rd win out of 4 games in the Champions League, and being one of those teams that had a great season last year, got picked apart a little bit in the offseason, wasn't projected to be a dangerous team in the Champions League, but has gone on to actually prove themselves very highly so far, getting a victory away from home against Sparta Prague 2-1.
Yeah, great to see. These are the type of performances from teams who aren't used to being here that you hope that they actually pull off the victory. Because at the end of the day, let's be honest, Brest should beat Sparta Prague. They should. But more often than not, when there's no experience in the side, they don't, right, in the Champions League. But Brest are able to get the victory. So congratulations to them. I do wonder, let's say they go on a string of 2 or 3 games where they play true opposition.
They need that.
How would they look? That's what I'm going to be looking for in the next 4 matches for Brest.
Well, you get that next match against Barcelona.
Perfect.
Because so far, they played Sturm Graz. They won that one.
Yeah, that's winnable.
They played RB Salzburg. They won that one. They tied Leverkusen, but we're starting to see the true colors of Leverkusen this season.
But that's good.
But that's still good. That's been their toughest test so far. And they didn't lose that game. And then beating Sparta Prague, next match, Barcelona. I mean, honestly, we could look forward. We could look past that.
Let's look past, because that might end 3-0 Barca.
PSV?
Okay,
a little bit more?
That's kind of like Leverkusen, I guess.
Shakhtar?
Damn.
Dude, they got a nice schedule.
They have probably the easiest schedule out of any team.
They're real quiet about that, though, man. I haven't heard shit about that. And then Real Madrid.
Okay, if Madrid don't figure it out, that'll be a good one, because those should be on par at that point.
Yeah.
Okay.
Brest is in 4th place right now. 10 points, incredible, and Sparta Prague in 26 on the outside looking in. We got Bayern Munich hosting Benfica, the Portuguese side, and Bayern Munich, after a really tight 65 minutes, finding the deadlock through a Jamal Musiala header to give them the lead 1-0, and seeing the result out as Benfica is unable to get a point out of this game.
Yeah, Benfica were happy to try to pull off a defensive masterclass, just putting 2 blocks of 4 in the box, asking Bayern Munich to just come at them. And it worked for, honestly, a large portion of this match. Leroy Sané comes on in the second half, and they just keep banging on that Benfica door. Finally, Sané finds Kane on the left-hand side. He heads it over to a wide-open Musiala, 1-0 Bayern Munich. I think it's fully deserved. Benfica fought, but Bayern Munich looked very, very good, especially in that second half. Probably could have scored a little bit more, to be honest, but this is a really good result for Bayern. They were the better team.
Yeah, I wanted to see them get a result here after the trashing they conceded to Barcelona. I wanted to see them bounce back, and this is a good way to do it against a feisty Benfica team who is now in 19th place, and Bayern moves their way up to 17th place. Now still, though, after 4 games, below Dinamo Zagreb.
Damn.
They're in 16th. They're 1 spot above them. I think that's a fun little narrative, man, because they trashed them 9-2 early on in this season.
Damn, that's crazy.
Were you on site for either Feyenoord, Salzburg, or Shakhtar Young Boys? Were you on site for any of these games?
I didn't see any of the Feyenoord game, but I actually saw most of the Shakhtar game.
Okay, what did you get from that one?
I actually watched that over the Villa game. Depression, man. Pure depression, bro. The way this game started, the commentator filled everybody in on the 2 states of these teams. It's sad, man. It was really sad. Shakhtar, before this match, had only generated 2 shots on target throughout their entire Champions League matches. Oof. Lowest out of all 36 teams. Oof. That's the offensive form they were going into this match. And then for Young Boys, they're having one of the worst seasons after a championship win last season. They're like low-key in a relegation battle in their league.
That's crazy.
They have 8 defenders out injured.
8 defenders out injured.
Yeah, 8.
Can't you only roster 9 or something?
That's the thing, bro. So they're makeshifting the hell out of it.
Holy shit.
Yeah. So it's just looking brutal for both sides, man. The game starts, and honestly, what makes it nice is since they're both in bad states, it ended up being an open game.
Yeah.
It ended up being an actually pretty entertaining game. Both sides just saying, fuck it, going end to end. It starts with Young Boys actually getting on the board. Slight error from the Ukrainian defender.
Okay.
And Imedi, I believe is his name, takes the ball and does a nice little reverse finish to start the match off. 1-0 Young Boys. Okay. Shakhtar immediately respond, equalize, and before the half, they get a second goal. And then from then on out, they see it out 2-1. Shakhtar get the win. But overall, I thought Shakhtar had more offensive plays, and finally they found their finishing form, as I think they deserve to win this match.
They do look like the better team so far in the Champions League, as they're now in 28th place. They had tied a game before this, so that's notable because Young Boys has lost every game.
Yeah.
They've lost every game. They're a bottom 3 team. They're not worse than Belgrade. They're not worse than Bratislava, but they're right there, bro. They're right there. I saw some scenes. I saw some highlights of the goals. They looked happy, Shakhtar, to, score goals and have their moment in the Champions League. Thing is, this might be it for them, for positivity in the Champions League. Thank you for coming. Have yourself a nice day. They're going to end up being one of those elimination teams. And Young Boys as well, I think, is going to have a tough ride in this tournament. Shakhtar is facing off against PSV next, and Young Boys is facing off against Atalanta next.
That'll be tough for them. That'll be really tough.
Last one that we had here was Feyenoord hosting Salzburg and dropping points, man. As Salzburg, I mean, I didn't watch this one. Yeah. Getting 3 goals on him, and Feyenoord getting a red card as well in the process. Damn. Losing 3-1 in this match. Salzburg getting a victory here. I think this is their first one. Yeah, their first one of the tournament. And Feyenoord dropping points as they had won 2 games and lost 1 before this one, but now they're on 2-2. 6 points, 21st place for Feyenoord right now. They've been weird this year.
Yeah. I've still yet to see a Salzburg game, which is funny, and I'm wondering if I'm just gonna unintentionally avoid them throughout this entire group phase.
I think a couple teams will.
I think it's just gonna accidentally happen where I don't watch them play, but I don't know. Maybe Salzburg keep winning, and maybe I catch their 7th or 8th group stage match.
Maybe, man. They'll be thankful. They'll be real thankful. Folks, let us know, what was your takeaway from these UEFA Champions League matches? We had another great day in the Champions League and a fun week. And Soltero with the final remark.
The top team all alone out of the entire table is Liverpool. And I just think it's very notable because this past weekend, we also said that Liverpool have established themselves as the best team in Europe, and the table doesn't lie. They're the only team who's remained perfect. It's beautiful to see, but I think it's worth noting, bro, because we're already seeing some separation in a lot of the leagues, and Liverpool's form looks incredible, man. It looks incredible. It'll be amazing to see Barcelona too, as they ride their parallel path as well. But Liverpool, bro, I'm just saying, if you're a Liverpool fan, you should be incredibly excited considering the form of a lot of other quote-unquote big teams.
Yeah, I haven't said it yet fully. I did say they're the best in England for sure, and then favorite in the Champions after what I saw this week. I think the question is Liverpool or Barcelona. I'm going Liverpool, though. I'm going Liverpool because I think the quality of opponents we face has been much, much higher. Sorry to La Liga, but I just haven't seen that same sort of level from the lower level teams. I mean, we had Nottingham Forest getting a victory on Liverpool at Anfield, for example, really putting up a really good test. For Barcelona, though, I mean, I think they're the second best team in Europe right now. I think it's clear now they're the second best team. Liverpool in first right now in terms of form and how they're playing. I'm going Liverpool at the moment. Best team in Europe.